So today we thought we'd have a little chat about weaning, because it's one of those things that first time round is really, really exciting, isn't it? When you're moving on to... Look at you rolling your eyes. She's done it 3 times. She's like, whatever.
Weaning.
It is, but first time round, all these things are such a big deal.
It is a big deal first time round. And when do you give them their first taste? Because obviously there's so many other things that you think
Factors.
about, like, you know, are you breastfeeding? You're trying to exclusively breastfeed for 6 months. Are you bottle feeding? Which things like that make a difference, because obviously if you've got a bottle fed baby, they're used to taking something which isn't completely natural already, and so, you know, that might change things, and also health of babies, because Diggory had reflux. With eating, he struggled so much to have anything that was solid and hard, and really enjoyed sucky foods. So for him, I can remember the health visitor saying, go for Wotsits and Quavers.
I'm thinking, what? But that's not organic.
Right. Vegetables, healthy organic vegetables. So yeah, it's a completely different mindset. I had to get my head round feeding him things like pasta and
stuff that you had said as before a parent, you know, I'm only going to be healthy and they're only going to eat this and that. You know, we all did that. We all wanted that for our kids. Whether you're actually able to put it into practice, I think, is a different matter.
I did a lot of purees, and I quite enjoyed pureeing stuff up. And I'd quite often, with the kids, I've always used a hand blender, which is that's my golden product when it comes to feeding little ones, because I'd make a spaghetti bolognese for us and I'd just whiz it up with a bit of milk or butter or whatever for the kids, or stock, and that would be baby's food. So I've never fussed a lot over making something specific for the kids. But I quite enjoy the little ice cubey trays that everybody does, that you can just make a big vat of puree and stick it in.
And I think there's a place for it. I mean, I get the whole kind of movement of baby-led weaning, but I think the puree texture and taste is just as important to have in with the whole kind of baby picking and choosing for themselves. It's all about sight, taste, texture, everything. So
you can add stuff also to purees that you wouldn't put on their tray for finger foods, for instance. So you know, like garlic and herbs and things like that. You wouldn't just put a sack of parsley on their tray for chewing on, would you? But you might add it to might add it to some mashed potato that you might add to a puree. So there's things that you can do with purees that you can't do with finger food.
And you can grab an Ella's Kitchen or, you know, any of the other brands that do it when you're on the hoof, and that is going to make your life easier. That you can just grab a patch. Mine would just take it straight from the pouch. They would suck it straight out the little tube at the end. Didn't even have to bother with spoons. And there's so many gadgets, which I have to say, a lot of them are ridiculous.
You know, I'm very much the same with feeding a baby or toddler as I am with arts and crafts. You get your head round them making a mess. The mums which baby-led anything and finger food does not work for, the mums that can't cope with mess.
Yeah.
You need to be relaxed about meal times. You need to put that baby in the high chair and just think, this is going to go all over the floor. But this kid's exploring, tasting, loving, new tastes, textures, food. Some of it's going to get spat over the side. And if you go into it,
some of it's going to get spat in your face.
Yeah. If you have a tidy meal, bonus.
Yeah, and I mean, we do have carpets. We don't have nice, you know, white clean wooden floors. So I bought, I know, it's horrendous. But we got one of these, a desk mat from IKEA, a big plastic desk mat that, you know, to stop office chairs ruining the floor. It was like 19 quid, and it wipes up really clean, and it's worked out perfectly for us. You can get drop mats and things. I've seen them in various parenting shops, but you can't really leave them out. But they are handy when you're on the move. If you going to a restaurant, but I'd feel like a bit of a wally putting down a mat in a restaurant. But it is handy if you're going to a friend's house or
I think, isn't that the joy of going to a restaurant? Someone's going to get out the floor.
And walk out and go, oh, I'm really sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
I am that person actually in a restaurant who will leave the place spick and span. I can't cope with leaving my baby
on the floor with the napkins. But weaning wise, I mean, it is fun to be able to do all the, you know, chopping up sweet potato and sticking them in as wedges. So they're things that they can grab, and just a mixture is what we pretty much did, was break off some banana, do some chunks of cucumber, blocks of cheese, even grate. You always used to do that. Just grate some cheese onto their dish.
Just put anything on that tray.
Yeah, I never even bothered with plates or bowls or sucky bowls or anything like that. I always chucked it straight onto the table or mat.
I quite like this, but also one of the reasons why I quite like these sucky bowls that you put on their tray is, it's motor skills as well. You're kind of working on a kid's motor skills as well, and directing their hands into something to pick something up. And spoons as well. I always used to put about 3 spoons on the tray, so because they do get lobbed over the edge, they can pick up another spoon. Yeah. You're starting to get their coordination, hand and eye skills. Don't they say that kids have to try things?
It's like 10 times,
is it, or something before they'll like it? So they might put some broccoli in, spit it back out, but keep going with it, keep sticking it on the tray and trying it again, or trying it with cheese, or trying it with a bit of tomato or something. Or
and what they liked yesterday, there is no guarantee they're going to like it the next day. So it's just
even
one
now
of those things,
with a 10-year-old and a 7-year-old, they still go through phases. I'll go out and buy a new cereal and they'll love it one day, and the next day, oh no, I don't like that. What do you mean you don't like it? I just bought 5 packets of it on offer.
I think also there'll be a lot of people that will say, well, baby-led weaning will mean that your kids will try everything and love everything. When your kids hit like 2, that just goes out the window. If a kid suddenly wants to kick off and say they don't want something, they will suddenly stop liking stuff. So I don't think there's one way that works the best.
Yeah, I think just be ready for some mess and enjoy it. It's the fun stage.
It is fun. It is fun. And it's really funny.
Or buy a dog.
Yeah.
That works.
But have some fun with it and let us know what you did. And what's the weirdest things that your kids have eaten? That's what I'd like to know.
We get a hardwood floor.
I think Tilda ate a garden snail once. Does that count as baby-led weaning?
Sand.
We'll see you on the next video from Hey Mummy.